Hey guys, just want to do a quick standalone video. You'll see some of this in the next episode whenever I get all the pieces of that together. But this one is specifically regarding cutting out the swedge on these old wheel studs. All you Jeep guys know that the way they used to do this back in the 40s and 50s was that they would use a stud that would basically be riveted through the drum to the hub. And if you want to get those out properly without warping your hub, you're going to have to cut that swedge out before you use a shop press to push these out. And similarly, when you put the new ones in, you have to remake that swedge to do it properly. A lot of guys will say you don't have to, it was more of a military thing. I'm a little bit of a purist, so I'm going to be doing that when I get to that point. But specifically what I wanted to cover was cutting out these swedges. You can use a hole saw if you're careful. You might need to use a couple of them. But the right tool for the job, Goodson makes one. This one specifically is an ST500 swedge cutting tool for 1/2-inch studs. That's this guy that I've got on the drill press here. And it's just got a little wax piece on it to cover up the cutters, which comes right off and goes right back on to help protect it while it's in storage. Now you'll actually see me cut the swedges in another video. There's a video out there by Metal Shaper, which I'll link up here in the corner if you want to watch that. The one thing that you kind of miss out on that video is the close-ups. His camera kind of gets fuzzy, so you don't really see what you're looking for. And I've got an example of that right here. So here is a brand new stud that's just waiting for me to find a shop press for sale locally. Every Harbor Freight within more than 100 miles is out, so great. If you look at this guy, we can just barely get a measurement on here. And if this GoPro focus is good at all, you'll see that it's right about, or right under 1/16 there. Now on my rig, I've cut all of these already. They're just ready to be pressed out, except for this one, which I was about to get to. You can see that I cut some of these deep enough and some of them not deep enough. So if we look at this guy right here, again, if the GoPro is zooming properly, you can see just kind of the shadow there of where the edge of the stud is. If you get a machinist ruler in here, you can just barely see. That looks to be about 1/16-ish. This one is cut deep enough. That one will press right out, no problem. This one right here beside it, on the surface looks pretty close. Looks like I've cut about the same, but I haven't. You can just barely see here that it's a little bit more than 1/16 on this ruler. And I need to cut just a hair deeper on that one. Now, given that I've already removed, that much material, it might just press right out. It probably won't warp or damage this hub versus just not cutting it out at all. This one right here, this one looks to be good. This one right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, but if it appears on YouTube, you could probably see it well enough. That one is just slightly over that 1/16-ish. Again, trying to compare, this one's just barely below it. That one's just barely over it. Given that I've removed enough material here, it might just fold up and press out. What I'll probably do off camera is another pass on the drill press here and I'll thin that out just a little bit more. This one similarly close. And this one here, yeah, that's good. That'll press right out. Now, unfortunately, with my setup here, it's not a perfectly level surface. If you got access to a mill, use it. I've had a Bridgeport sitting in here. That would have really simplified this. I was having to make sure this thing was not gonna move at all. I used my handy Harbor Freight extenders here to actually fit a hub on here with the drum. And you can see how well this is working. You'll see the details of that whenever I get the episode done. This setup actually works, mostly okay. You got to do like you would on a mill and figure out just where it'll fit. And they drill out just fine. Also, for our friends everywhere else in the world who don't use Freedom units, the edge of this is about, looks to be 2 millimeters. That one is probably deep enough. It looks like it's just barely over 2 millimeters. That one as well. That one's 2 visible. That one's actually more like 1.5. And that one's 2. So kind of by the same logic as I did before. I need to cut a little bit deeper on a couple of these. But yeah, that looks to be about 2 millimeters of overhang there. So, again, guys, I'm not a professional. I'm just some guy who bought an old Jeep, is trying to bring it back, who can't find a local shop who would work on brakes like this, so I'm having to figure it out myself. I am not a certified master mechanic, but I am YouTube certified. So, take all of this advice with that in mind.